If you're new to my channel, we are currently going through our second renovation, and this one is bigger than our first. It's so extensive. We had no gas when we moved in, we've still got no heating, and we've literally had to take the entire house apart, and we're still very much going through it now. As you can see behind me, we do have some beautiful plaster, and we are getting to that stage. Our upstairs area is nearly ready to be decorated and all of the good stuff basically. So I thought it would be really good to jump in with a video sharing my top tips on living through a renovation, because it's really not for the faint-hearted. So number one is your footwear. If you are living in a renovation, it's likely that the floors are going to be constantly dirty, plaster all over the floor. It's just gonna be really mucky. I never ever wear just bare feet or socks around the house at the moment. It's a total no-no. Neither do I wear my outdoor shoes, and I've got to tell you that I am in my Crocs era, and I cannot recommend it enough for any renovation. They're just so easy to slip on, and not only that, if they get covered in stuff while you're, you know, renovating or walking around, they can easily be washed down. And not gonna lie, me and James both have a pair, and it's just changed our lives, and it's so good for walking around the house. And now that we've got a lovely bathroom, we just take them off at the door and put them on afterwards, and yeah, changed the game. Because last time I was wearing trainers constantly around the house, and it's really annoying. They're not actually that comfortable. Crocs are super comfortable, easy to clean. You can wear thick socks with them to keep your feet warm in the house if you've got no heating. And yeah, one of my favorite tips there for you. Number two is you will likely be living in boxes for a really long time. We've only been here 3 months, but we're kind of still living out of like suitcases and boxes, stuff that we've not opened and stuff. And the stuff that you really need to use every day, you want to have at your disposal. And I would say like the biggest thing is you want to be able to stay clean each day. That can be a little bit challenging during a renovation when you don't really have any washing facilities. So for us, my favourite thing is getting a little basket. So it could be like a plastic basket like this, it could be a box, anything. And I just basically put all of like my essentials in this box. And because sometimes we were using the bathroom upstairs, when that was taken out we were using the sink downstairs, it was so easy for me to pick it up, my toothbrush, everything in, carry it to where I needed to use it. And yeah, I just absolutely love it because it's just easy, and it kind of stays nice and clean in the box. You can clean it easily as well. And yeah, never used this in the first renovation, definitely will use it again. It's just easy and great for transport and stuff. Now number three is kind of a no-brainer, but it is keeping clean as you go. And I know this is really difficult in a renovation because everything is dirty. There's kind of that part of you that's like, what is the actual point in like cleaning up as we go? Like, it all looks messy anyway. But honestly, it will just change the game, because when you are renovating, everything just constantly has layers of dust on everything. And if you're living in the rooms as well, it's just so difficult. You'll end up getting coughs, and it's just not nice. So I would say like at least once a week, even if we're living on like wooden floors everywhere, just sweep it through. We haven't used a vacuum since we've moved in because we don't need to, but just sweep through everywhere, wipe surfaces down with like wet cloth or anti-bac wipes, just to keep the area dust free. I just think it really helps to keep on top of things because it builds up very quickly, and at the end of the day you are still living in the property, so you just want to make it feel as nice as possible, and I would say as homely as possible. It's not going to be homely, but yeah, it's just really important to keep on top of it. And especially after trades have been into the house, every time we've had plasterers in, we've cleaned the floors with a bucket and water each time, just because plaster is like one of the messiest jobs. Number four is when you are going through the process and you're living in it, what is going to happen is you are going to end up having rooms that are complete and most of the house that still isn't complete. So you're still going to be generating a certain level of dust. There's going to be trays coming in and out of the house, and it's just going to be messy still. And we were putting a lot of plastic up on to cover our doors each time. It does take a fair amount of time, but it was just ensuring that obviously dust was staying out. And these are a little bit more expensive, but these are dust covers that go over your door, which I'll demonstrate for you now. They zip up, and they are just amazing. It means that we can still access the room, but whilst we still keep the plastic up until we kind of need it to, because we've got plasterers coming in and out over the next couple of weeks, and if we didn't have this right now, we'd have to keep taking it down to just try and get into the bathroom and then put a fresh piece of plastic up as well. So these are around, I think this was around £12 from B&Q. I'll link it in the comments below, but this has been one of my favourite finds, and you're probably aware of it already, but I wanted to share it because you might think £12 is quite a lot of money for something that you might not use again, but it's amazing, and it just keeps all the dust out. You've not got to worry about your brand new lovely room being ruined. You can also get these with double doors as well, but yeah, I definitely check them out because they are a lifesaver. Now, number 5, and something we've not done on this renovation, if you have a lot of lovely stuff, it is going to get ruined during your renovation. Dust is going to settle on it, and inevitably something's going to get damaged. If you can, I really would recommend getting a storage unit and storing some of your prized possessions in there. And I think on our next renovation we'll definitely consider that. Everything has taken a knock, and to be fair, we are going to be getting a lot of new stuff once the renovation is finished. But just peace of mind as well, knowing your lovely stuff is waiting there. And to be fair, we've actually got quite a lot of old stuff we're living with. Our sofa's 7 years old. It's absolutely battered. When we got our puppy, he ruined it, and it's the most uncomfiest sofa in the absolute world, but we've just been waiting and waiting just for that right time. And to be fair, I'm so glad we've waited, because it would have just got ruined in this renovation. So yeah, keep using old stuff, and if you've got lovely stuff, put it in a storage unit, and then you know it's all there ready waiting, and it's going to be lovely and clean when you do get it eventually. Now, my number 6 is, and kind of goes on from the last one, is you really want to live as frugally as possible with the stuff that you have in your property. You do not want to be having loads of stuff out on show, because it is going to be a nightmare moving from room to room when you've got trades in. And as we've experienced, we actually don't have a lot of stuff out. A lot of our stuff is still in boxes and is stuffed in one of the rooms that's been plastered now. But every time we were moving our bed to get into a room, it was just a nightmare. And I would just say, literally live with your bed and a bedside table. You don't want anything else in the room. You want as minimal as possible, because when you're living in it, it's just that constant moving things from room to room, and we must have done it about 50 times, and that is what you have to go through if you're living in the property at the same time. I would just keep minimal stuff on display. It's going to make your life so much easier, and just store everything else, be it in boxes or in a storage unit. Number 7, and guys, this is just the best tip ever, and you've probably already got one, but if you have no kitchen, you need an air fryer in your life. Oh my god, it has changed the total game. Like, we have had like no kitchen since we moved in. There was never anywhere to cook food, and we'd got rid of our microwave in preparation for it, and we've just got a double dual air fryer, and we literally cook everything in it. We can still eat healthily. It's just completely taken away the stress of not having any cooking facilities, and it's just amazing that you can do it now, because before you might have a little camping hob and you might have a microwave. An air fryer literally allows you to do everything. It just makes the stress of living in a renovation so much easier. Yes, we get the odd takeaway because you cannot do pizza in an air fryer, but yeah, air fryer, lifesaver. Number 8, and I would say this is a really, really important one. When you're living through a renovation, especially for us during the height of winter, it can bog you down. The first few weeks it feels like a novelty, it's quite exciting, but then reality sets in. We work from home as well, we have our own business, and it was brutal. Like, when you're sat down all day and it's absolutely freezing and everywhere is a mess, it can be really, really difficult. And for me, I think it's really important to still try and make your home feel like your home, and that for me is simple things like getting diffusers in, so you get those familiar scents. It makes the house smell nice, and because you're invariably going to have dust smells, damp smells, plaster smells, and a diffuser can really transport you back to those nice times. And candles. Candles for me are an absolute must, even if you are living in a building site. It makes a small difference, but it still makes it feel like your home, and it gives you those home comforts that you look forward to when your home is beautiful again. Number 9. Now, if you are doing a complete extensive renovation, you have to be fully prepared and fully organized, and I will be doing another video on this with James about how you can organize your renovation to set yourself up for success. Now, if you're embarking on your very first renovation, it might seem a little bit daunting, things might take a little bit longer than normal, but we now are working on a military organization. We know exactly when things are being done, we know who needs to come in next, and we know exactly what room order we have to do things in, and this is going to make your renovation so much less stressful. You are going to come across challenges during the process. Trades can be very unreliable, building materials can take a while to come in, things are a lot more expensive than they used to be, and it's just about having a plan for how all of that works and knowing when is the right time to get other people in. As well as that, you kind of need to have an idea of how you want all of your rooms to be designed to a certain extent, because if you don't know certain elements, it's going to slow other parts down in the process. I've already had to decide what kind of basic schemes we're doing in all the rooms, especially paint, because we need to get the paint onto the plastered walls so the plumber can come back and fit our radiators. So it's kind of is having a tick box and working through a timeline of when everything needs to be done, and that's got to be my top tip for living through a renovation, because you don't have the luxury of being away from it and taking your time. You've really got to work with military precision to make sure that everything is done in the right order and you have everything ready. Now, even small things like not ordering your wall tiles at the right time is going to delay things massively. I had to order all of our bathroom stuff and all of our tiles pretty much 4 weeks before the plumber started plumbing the stuff in, because I needed to know it was there. Whereas the last time in our first renovation, we got tiles. By the time we'd ordered the tiles, they were out of stock, we had to wait for them, and the tiles had to be put in once all of the bathroom units were in, which is not the ideal way to tile a bathroom. So it's just learning those things along the way, even though it can seem a little bit premature. Like, we've had our downstairs toilet stuff here for 2 months now, and we're not ready to start that for another few weeks, but it just gives you that little bit peace of mind that everything is there ready waiting for you when you get to that stage. Now, number 10, because you're living in a building site, there is going to be a hell of a lot of dust. There's going to be allergens, there's going to be everything you've exposed from old wallpaper, and it will smell. It's going to be musty, and remember, you're going to be sleeping through it, you're going to be breathing that air for an entire night, and it's not that great. So keeping your air as clear as possible is really, really important. As I mentioned earlier in the video, try and keep everywhere as clean as possible. Just get the dust off everything. It makes such a difference. For us, we have a Dyson air purifier, and we cannot sleep without that on at night. It literally helps so much. I don't wake up with a blocked nose in the morning. It purifies the air, but it's also perfect for when it's a little bit hotter as well. And we've literally been using this throughout the entire winter, even when it was literally freezing here and we had no heating. Having better air during the night is going to make you feel more well rested, and that's certainly what you need during a renovation, especially if you're doing a lot of it yourself as well. Number 11, and I think is worth mentioning here, is that your normal routine is not going to exist anymore. When you move house and you go straight into a renovation, you may be up until 9 o'clock doing stuff on the house. You might be getting straight into bed and going straight to sleep after that. Working out how you're going to make your meals in a brand new air fryer is going to be difficult at the start. You're not going to be able to do everything as you did in your old house without the same cooking facilities. It's going to be really difficult getting used to washing in different areas, and it's just to have no expectation of what you expect it to be. We've still not got back into a proper running routine since we've moved, because when we have plasterers in at like 7:30 in the morning, we've not got time to go out before that. I'm having to work in different places and take Pappy with us, who's our chow chow. So it's kind of, you just have to go with the flow, but it's not going to be forever. But it's just having the expectation it's not going to be your normal routine. You've got to embrace the change and just try to enjoy it. Number 12 is to try and enjoy every little moment of happiness and try and see joy and gratitude in each moment. Now this one's really, really important because, as I mentioned, you're going to go through challenges in renovation. It's never ever going to be plain sailing. Things will arise, and sometimes it can be difficult to kind of try and stay motivated and just happy with the entire process. For me, finding joy and gratitude is being so grateful for what we have now and what we've moved up to. When it's sunny, it's beautiful. We have a south-facing garden now. We've never had a garden. We've had a terrace courtyard, but that was just really small. And just being able to have a garden and enjoy it in the sun, and just having that pocket of sunshine to go and enjoy it, is just beautiful. And everything is a work in progress, and that's why I take pictures of everything. Obviously I document it, but taking pictures, videos, and seeing how far you've come is really important, because it is baby steps, but over time you'll look back and you'll be like, that was so worth it. So it is just to try and enjoy the moments as you go. I think that's one of my best pieces of advice, because else it can just become depressing and really, really difficult, especially if you are doing it during the winter. And number 13, my last tip that I want to end on, is you have to have a vision. And I would say a little bit of manifestation here, if you're into that sort of thing, but having a vision of how your future home is going to look like and trying to hold that in your mind when you're doing the property is really, really important. It's the reason why you're doing everything now. And I'm a hugely visual person, especially when it comes to designing an interior. Often my initial scheme just comes from a vision in my mind and putting it all together, and I can see rooms how they're going to look once they're finished, and I think that's really, really important. If you're new to visualization, try and sit in the room and imagine what you'd like in it. Get at Pinterest, get out some magazines, just get so much inspiration, some ideas down, and go from there. Honestly, it is a process that is just a snowball effect. The more positivity you think about a project, the more ideas you have, it just snowballs, and it really will give you a boost of motivation. Visualization is one of the most important things if you can do it, and it's just remembering the end goal inside. I hope you enjoyed hearing about my tips for living through a renovation today. And I will say it's not been easy, it's difficult, but because we expect those challenges, it makes it a little bit easier. And when you get days like beautiful and sunny today, it just makes it so much easier. But just remember to try and enjoy the process. If you have any other questions about living through a renovation, specific things, please leave me a comment below, and I'll come straight back to you. Or please share your coping mechanisms in the comments below so everyone can see. I think that'd be really helpful. But other than that, if you enjoyed watching today's video, I'd love it if you could please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I look forward to seeing you on my next video.